What's going on, everybody in the stream? What's going on, everybody on YouTube? This is going to be my Dead or Alive series tier list. So essentially, we're going to go ahead and rate the games from where I believe that they fall. I'm obviously going to take input from you guys as well in the chat. And I actually seen a Tekken guy do this, and I thought that it'd be interesting to do this for Dead or Alive series. So with that said, I'm going to be leaving out any mods or any extra versions of games that were made outside of Dead or Alive 5. So Dead or Alive 1++, any version of Dead or Alive 1, any modded version of DOA 3, we're not going to talk about. We are going to talk about just regular core individual entries into the DOA series. Now, Dead or Alive 5, we are going to do 5 vanilla, ultimate, and last round. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about this. We do have Dead or Alive 1 up here. This is going to be the first Dead or Alive game we're going to talk about. Again, Dead or Alive 1, obviously, it came out back in the 90s. Originally, I believe it came out in the arcade first in the Sega Saturn. I could be wrong. But, obviously, DOA's been around for a long time, especially, it's been around pretty much as long as any other 3D fighting game other than VF has been around. I think VF is the longest 3D fighting game running. So, with that said, obviously DOA has its own identity, and it did a great job of establishing itself as its own 3D fighter. Obviously, the hold system has always been in the game, even though it was never necessarily as defined as it is now. Like back in DOA 1, all the holds in the game pretty much looked like Bayman's parry. Like it looked like a parry, and you didn't get actually a crazy animation off it. However, being able to stop someone's attack with a hold like that definitely made the game very interesting. Yeah, DOA 1 first came out in 1996, which would definitely mean it came out after VF. I want to say, I know that Tekken 1 came out in 94 or 95, and then Tekken 2 might have come out in 96 or 97, but I know that Tekken 3 probably came out in because Tekken Tag came out in 99 or 2000 or something like that. So either way, we're not talking about the years of these games, but again, DOA 1 definitely had its own identity, but I just don't really think that DOA 1 really hit the ground running. Like, this game is fucking awesome, you know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, especially with how much I enjoyed it, again, I played Dead or Alive 2 on the Dreamcast first. That's the first game I ever played in the DOA series. Then I went back and played DOA 1, and obviously I was kind of like, what the fuck is this, you know what I'm saying? But obviously now I can appreciate it. But yeah, I definitely believe that Dead or Alive 1 was awesome, but I can't put it any higher than C tier because it just wasn't doing stuff that the other games at the time weren't doing, you know what I'm saying? Like Tekken 3 came out, other than the whole system, you had Tekken 3 and Tekken 2, you had Virtua Fighter, you had, Soul Edge on the horizon. So, or actually Soul Edge actually came out before this game, I believe, or maybe a little bit after, but even still, it definitely didn't establish its own identity just yet. So, yeah, I believe that DOA 1 should go into C tier. Next, we are going to be doing Dead or Alive 2. This game right here is probably one of my favorite Dead or Alive games next to Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate. Dude, like the graphics for this game that came out in that time period in 1999, this game looked absolutely fucking ridiculous. No one had seen anything like Dead or Alive 2 Vanilla. When it came out on the Dreamcast, you compared it to games like Tekken Tag 1, and you were like, this game has a full 3D interactive environment. Like, no game had done what Dead or Alive did at that point. The game was so advanced for its time. The stages, the characters, everything about this game was just fucking next level. It was phenomenal. Definitely one of my biggest childhood memories is Dead or Alive 2 on the Dreamcast. So, definitely going to have to put this game... Definitely have to put this game in A tier. This game was fucking phenomenal. Because it's not my favorite game in the series, my favorite version, I'm not going to put it in S. As a matter of fact, yeah, I'll put it in S. I'm going to put it in S because I don't believe that there's... Yeah, I'm going to put this game in S tier. So we're going to go ahead and stick Dead or Alive 2 in S tier. Yeah, this game looked fucking crazy, dude. Dead or Alive 2 looked amazing. It's definitely going to be an S tier game. So, next game. We have Dead or Alive 3. So as a matter of fact, yeah, so again, we're not going to do different versions. So Dead or Alive 2 is Dead or Alive 2. We're going to talk about the regular version of it. Now, Ultimate obviously was its own release. It was a expanded version of Dead or Alive 2 with updated graphics and stuff like that, but it was also its own game. So we're not going to do Dead or Alive 2 on the Dreamcast and things like that. We're just going to keep it with Dead or Alive 2, all right? Dead or Alive 3, bam. Alright, Dead or Alive 3. This game here, it's going to sound kind of strange because I might get some backlash for this, but I never really was in love with Dead or Alive 3. I was always in love with Dead or Alive 2, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate, Dead or Alive 4. I was never in love with this game. Not to say it was a bad game. I never had the love for this game that I had for the other games. You know, it was great. It was a great game. But it's like, you know, something about the game just felt so weird to me. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't, I don't know. It was a great game, for sure. It definitely was great, but I was never a huge fan of the game. It looked amazing. It had amazing stages. Obviously, it was the first game that Hayate, my main, was in. And, you know, that alone was probably the thing that I loved the most about it, because Hayate was in it. You know, it was a great game for sure. The story mode was amazing, the story cutscenes and stuff. So I'll put Dead or Alive 3 in A tier. I think I can live with Dead or Alive 3 being in A tier. Hey, yo, Mangmo, thank you so much for those gifted subs, man. Shout out to my boy Mangmo for showing love to the stream and supporting me. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. Seriously, every bit of support you guys give me, I fucking appreciate it so much, man. Seriously, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Yo, Vigilant Seagull with the raid, man. I appreciate it, bro. Shout out to my boy Vigilant Seagull and also Mangmo for the support. So, yeah, next up we're going to be talking about, let's see what we got here. So, after Dead or Alive 3, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate came out. So, you know, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate, guys, like, I just made a video talking about how amazing this game was. This game, I remember the commercial for this game. This is the first commercial for a fighting game I remember from my childhood, and then Dead or Alive 4's commercial. This is back when they actually gave a fuck about doing their marketing strategy at Team Ninja, or Koei rather, back before it was Koei Tecmo. It was the first online 3D fighting game that I can remember. No other fighting game at the time that was 3D was online, I don't believe. Like, this was probably, honestly, I want to say that this is one of the first online fighting games on console. Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection hadn't come out yet. Soul Calibur wasn't online at the time. Soul Calibur 3 had just dropped, I think, the year before. Or actually, no, Soul Calibur 2 had just dropped, I think, a couple years before. Then Soul Calibur 3 came out in 2004 or 5. But yeah, DOA 2 Ultimate was the first online DOA game. It was amazing to play online. Like, the memories that I have from this game in my childhood, just getting my ass whooped and learning the game, playing against Master in lobbies, fighting Offbeat Ninja, all the legends when I was a younger kid, 8 or 9 years old, man. This game right here, man, like the costumes, the stages, the fucking graphics. Oh, it was the perfect Dead or Alive game. For that reason, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate is definitely going at the top of S tier. For me, for sure. Definitely going at the top of S tier for me. That was an easy one. What's next? So, you know, that game came out back in 2004. 2005, obviously, we're going to be getting into Dead or Alive 4. Now, listen, guys, I might not be the biggest Dead or Alive 4 fan in the world because of the system. But other than a couple of flaws that the system had, this game looked amazing. The graphics looked amazing. The water, the stages, the online. I have so many matches played in this game. I have so many memories with this game, with the online ranking system, playing in lobby matches and leveling your rank up. You know, the avatars, the little ninja avatars in the lobbies. The story mode. I love the story mode. Helena's ending cutscene with Aerosmith playing in the background. Yeah, man, Dead or Alive 4, it was so glossy and so beautiful. Oh my god. Genfu's fucking outfit had fur, guys. Genfu's outfit had fur on it, okay? His outfit had fucking fur, guys. Like, seriously, you can see the fur. I know people don't like this game system-wise, but you cannot tell me that this was not a DOA game, and it felt like a DOA game. Man, this game was absolutely fucking phenomenal, other than like a couple of problems with the system. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put, because of the system, I'm gonna have to put DOA in A tier, but I am DOA 4. I am gonna put it above Dead or Alive 3 though. So, let's go ahead and stick that bad boy in there. Alright, so let's see what else we got here. Let me go ahead and move these characters over. Oh, okay, hold on. So let's see what we got. Then shortly, so obviously after that, we didn't get any DOA games until, you know, Dead or Alive 5 was announced. Well, actually no. So we got a new DOA game in 2000 and I think it was 2010 or 11. I think it dropped, and that's going to be Dead or Alive Dimensions. This game here, yo, we met in DOA 5, Vanilla J, back in 2012. Dead or Alive Dimensions. Okay. This game, I remember, so I actually never owned DOA Dimensions until now. I own it on an emulator on a computer. But DOA Dimensions was always that DOA game that I wanted to own that I didn't have. This game had, now keep in mind, guys, this was a handheld console game. Handheld. You can take it anywhere you want. The first Dead or Alive game that was ever on handheld. Okay. I think that this game was very well done as far as the graphics goes. It had online capabilities as well with the throwdown shit. It had a ranking system as well. It had, Ein, it had Leon, it had pretty much all the DOA classic characters. It had Rido in it as well as a playable character for the first time. For the first time since DOA 1. It had a lot of throwback stages in it, like it had, the Kyoto and Bloom. I think that people in the chat are saying this game should be A tier, but I believe that this game 100% was an S tier quality game. I mean, it was portable, it had online, it had Metroid crossovers. Fucking, you guys are nuts if you think this game isn't an S tier game. You guys are absolutely out of your goddamn mind. It had costumes for days. Like, it had costumes for days, guys. You gotta think about it. This game was published by Nintendo, which means that it had all the support in the world to be great. In turn, it was. Okay, this game was absolutely great. It had all the costumes, the stages, the characters. Like, this game was fucking awesome. I don't know how you guys can say that it's not S tier. Definitely an amazing game, for sure. So, then after this, 2011 comes around, we get an announcement for Dead or Alive 5. Then, finally, we get a Dead or Alive 5 vanilla that comes out years after Dead or Alive 4, a year after Dead or Alive Dimensions, I believe. This is me just spitting stuff off the top of my head. So, here we go. So, Dead or Alive 5 vanilla. I own this game on the Xbox. This game, I have a lot of, so I think that the hype that I had for this game really was more than what I had for it, than what it actually was worth. Not to say Dead or Alive 5 vanilla was a bad game by any means. It was a great game. It definitely didn't live up to my expectations as far as the story mode at all. It definitely didn't live up to my expectations because you guys got to remember, this game didn't have Ein in it. It didn't have Leon in it. It only had 2 VF characters in it. No, it had Sarah, Akira, and Pi in it. So it was still missing Jackie. The ground game was way too broken. The ground game was absolutely not fair. Characters that came out like Jan Lee, Mila were absolutely broken. It made the game super unenjoyable because of how unbalanced some of these characters were. Mila literally had an infinite, okay? Mila literally had an infinite, bro. Like, Jay, Pi was originally in DOA 5. She dropped in this game, vanilla. Mila had an infinite. There were so many broken things about the game. It was awesome playing a new game, but there were so many broken things with the game and the story mode itself, and there wasn't a lot of characters in the game. Again, Ein wasn't there, Leon wasn't there. I definitely had a problem with this game. I don't think it was a horrible game, because it is still a DOA game. It's definitely not on no DOA 6 shit, but I definitely cannot rate this game higher than a B. So we're going to go ahead and stick DOA 5 vanilla in the B category. I mean, granted, again, DOA 5 vanilla looked amazing. Like, the game looked good for what it was. It had sweat. It had a sweat mechanic in it. It had, it wasn't a horrible game. It just wasn't what we were waiting for. You know what I'm saying? So then, after that game, I want to say that that's when this game came out. So I don't know the exact year, but a lot of people might not know what this game is. I actually played this game on an emulator on a computer back in the day. This was, I think it was called Dead or Alive 5 Infinite or something, and it was a mobile game that was only released in Japan, from what I understood. But I played this game in an emulator, and there's actually gameplay of it on YouTube. Pretty much, it was just like a kind of like a Final Fantasy type of game where like you kind of point and click on who you want to beat up. This game was ass. It was absolutely ass, and especially it was ass because it wasn't released in the U.S. So yeah, you're going down here, and that's all we're gonna say about you. It was cool because it had DOA characters in it and stuff like that, but it wasn't released in the US, and it was ass because they're wild for doing that shit. So we're gonna go ahead and put that down there. Then Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate came out in in 2013. So let me go ahead and find my Ultimate picture. Bam! So, Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate dropped in 2013 on consoles everywhere. I had a lot of issues with this game, guys. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had a lot of problems with this game here. The ground game definitely needed to be changed from what it was in vanilla, but then they took all of the ground game out of the game. When I say they took all the ground game out of the game, I mean it was virtually impossible to tech people off of the floor. It was even worse than it is in 5. Okay? You know, this was also when they introduced Rachel. They also introduced Jackie in the game, Ein, Leon. So this was definitely the ultimate version of Dead or Alive 5. Definitely more so than Last Round. And I want to say later on down the line, EmeryReigns came out as well in Ultimate. Later on down the line too. And I think that Phase 4 came out in Ultimate as well at the end, I think. So this game had a lot of characters in it at the end, especially, and then on its launch time. But I'm not a fan of how bad the game was. The ground game was absolutely horrible. Rachel came out, and Rachel was literally stomping your dick off, and you had to get off the floor because her stomp was plus whether she whiffed it or not. This game was a fucking nightmare when it first came out. Again, it definitely picked up later on down the line, but this game was a fucking nightmare. So we're definitely going to put this game behind 5 in the B tier. It was a nightmare. It really was. Obviously, the only reason why I'm putting it in B is because it got its shit together. It had a lot of good characters in it, and then towards the end they fixed it and added more characters. But I had a problem with that game. Then, obviously, Dead or Alive 5 Last Round came out. Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, in my opinion, is one of the most perfect Dead or Alive games that has ever come out as far as the system goes. Now, the ground game wasn't perfect, but it was intact to the point where you could actually tech people up off the floor. Balances were made that needed to be made. This was also when they introduced Raido back into the game, and what other character came out in this game? Oh, I forgot. Natora E came out in this game. A couple other characters came out in this game as well. Hanoka came out in this game as well. So I definitely love Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. They did a good job of fixing the shit that Ultimate had wrong with it. And also, from what I believe, I don't remember this. Somebody's got to correct me, but I think that Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, Dead or Alive 5 Last Round was free if you upgraded it on the console you already had it on. But if you wanted it on next gen like PS4 or Xbox One, you had to buy it. I believe that's how it worked. If you upgraded it on the other system, it was free. So that was awesome. That was good that they didn't make you pay for it again unless you wanted to upgrade it on the new system, which is fair. I gotta say it was fair. They had a good marketing plan with that. And not to mention, Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, they started going ham with the fucking crossovers, man. They went ham with that Attack on Titan shit. Meaning, like, what I mean by going ham is they did a great job. They did a great job with the Attack on Titan shit that they did. Crossover, they did a lot of good crossover. Samurai Warriors, they had a lot of good shit, man. The PC version, however, was disgusting. There was no online lobbies. But other than that, the mods were very fun. The only issue that I had with the PC version of this game was that there was no lobbies. I didn't really care for anything else. The stages I could live without, Danger Zone, everything else. There not being any lobbies was definitely a problem. But the mods definitely made up for it. I had so much fun playing with the mods. So with that said, I'm definitely going to put Dead or Alive 5 Last Round up here behind Dead or Alive 3 and 8 here. And then that brings us to you know, the moment we've all been waiting for. This is essentially the end of time here. And this is Dead or Alive 6. So, you know, Dead or Alive 6 is fucked up. I mean, Dead or Alive 6 is a fucked up game. It is what it is. The ground game is disgustingly atrocious, worse than Dead or Alive 5 Ultimates. I'm sorry, just a little bit better than Dead or Alive 5 Ultimates because you can actually hit people on the floor. You know, we got Nico, we got Diego, we got the same, you know, KOF characters back. We got no Virtual Fighter characters in this game. The stages were definitely lackluster, definitely better than Dead or Alive 5 stages in my opinion, but definitely not better than any of the other games. The game looks amazing. It feels amazing to play, but the mechanics with the break hold and the break blow and the meter system with the sidestep, it's fucked up. There was no lobbies when the game came out at launch. Yeah, man, this game was fucked up. Not to mention Evo Japan, what this game did at Evo Japan. Definitely not the worst game in the series. 100% not the worst game in the series, but it's definitely not the best game in the series by a long run, and I'm hoping that we can recover from this. So, I want to put Dead or Alive 6 in a whopping C tier, right after Dead or Alive 1. Yeah, I'm gonna put Dead or Alive 6 in C tier, 100%. Definitely, it's not better than Dead or Alive 1, guys. Like, seriously, from a system standpoint, of course you're saying, oh, Dead or Alive 1, but you have to look at the time period it came out, and there's no way that Dead or Alive 6 is more legendary than Dead or Alive 1 is. There's not a fucking chance. They're definitely out of pocket for Dead or Alive 6. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. I thought it was fun for sure. I thought it was cool to do this. I like doing these tier lists, and especially if they're DOA related. I hope you guys definitely did enjoy this, but that's going to do it for the video. YouTube, please be sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and leave your thoughts on what you think as well. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.